All right. I think, sir, we are live.
Okay, great.
इंस्टा पे भी चले जाए सर लाइव, दोनों ना जाके एक चले जाते हैं, मैं अपने अकाउंट से ले आता हूँ।
सर अगर वॉइस का इको वगैरह का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो वी कैन
इंस्टा पे भी चले जाए सर लाइव, दोनों ना जाके। अच्छा, बस ये दिक्कत आएगी कि मेरा ये कहाँ से आवाज आ रही है मुझे? अच्छा, ये सर आपकी उससे फोन आवाज आ रही है मेरे ख्याल से, नहीं मेरे से आ रही है।
सर अगर वॉइस का इको,
अच्छा, so I think students, yes, voice little bit crack. अच्छा, so students are here ना?
यस सर। सर स्टार्ट करते हैं सेशन ना फिर।
ठीक है जी।
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, hello everyone, friends. On behalf of Cerebellum Academy, we welcome you to today's session. If you have not scored a desired result, not so good result, how to tackle that, and what is the way forward? Friends, this is one of the most difficult sessions to conduct, but I feel this is more important than any other session that we conduct with students who have cleared the exam. Because the students who have cleared the exam, it is easy to talk to them. We know what they are going to say, they will guide you, but it is more difficult. Dr. Praveen sir will share, the other members of Cerebellum team will share with you how we have been getting non-stop calls since yesterday from the students who have not got the desired result. And frankly, students, it is not easy to even listen to those calls or address you because students are in a disturbed state of mind right now. So we'll try to see if in this session we can help you get over that issue. So many students will be watching this video later also. We'll try to lay down a roadmap how to tackle this, and let's look at the upcoming exam. Let's say NEET-PG or NEXE, whatever happens next year. Let's say it is going to happen in January 2024. So we have still got around 9.5 months with us. How we can utilize it in a most efficient manner, and let us learn from the best practices. We have taken so many interviews from students, not just this year, but since last so many years, we have been seeing the exam. We have been listening to students who have cleared the exam, who have not cleared the exam. Let's try to find out how we can decode this, that what are the things we are missing so that we can strengthen ourselves and appear in a best frame of mind for the next upcoming exam. Welcome, Dr. Praveen Tripathi, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right, students. So let us focus on the questions that are being asked most commonly. And so mute the mic. I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think the best way of utilizing this session would be that the queries that most of the students have messaged us or mailed us, let us try to, answer those queries, and then we can, take questions from the students who have joined the Zoom meeting. All right. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, we can see the YouTube chat also. And time permitting, we would like to take questions from the YouTube chat too. So first of all, this question is being asked again and again that I studied a lot and everything was going well. My mock results were better, and finally the actual result has not come out to be so good. So what can we do about it? So students, I mean, it's a difficult situation to be in, of course. And from the messages that I have received, I'm sure Vivek sir must have also received these messages. Many students are saying that after the examination, what they themselves calculated, it was much higher than what the actual result came out to be. So it's a very unfortunate situation. I'm not sure whether we can do anything about it or not. I'm not sure is there any facility for remarking. I highly doubt that, because entrance examination do not allow for that. So we can't really help you with that. But let us focus more on what can be done going forward, right? So the way I think is, after an examination, we tend to have, two broad categories of students. The first category is that of those students who missed it by some marks. They were almost there, but in the end something happened. For example, many students got distracted by this whole thing of postponement. Their preparation was going pretty well, but in the end, the postponement played the spoil sport. Or there were other students who in the last couple of months could not study that well. So for those of you who got a decent score, not good enough to get a good college or a good seat, but still decent enough. For those students, our strong recommendation would be to consider attempting the ICAT examination, right? And giving your best for the ICAT examination. We have always seen that this mid ICAT, which is conducted in the April or May, and earlier we used to have mid AIMS and mid PGI. This examination is particularly quite, I would not say easier, but comparatively it is easier than the main examination or the November examination that is held every year. There are multiple reasons for that. The intern batch which joins is still not eligible for this examination, and those who were well prepared, they got selected. So now what we are left with is a bunch of students who who studied but could not get selected, but the other bunch of good students has yet not joined. So this opens that small window, short window, where the chances of getting selected actually becomes better. And now with the ICAT examination being there, all the institutes having being clubbed together, the number of seats have gone up. So if you can prepare for this examination, it would actually be great, right? So if you feel that you missed the NEET-PG examination by some marks, if only you had another month, things would have been better. If you're having thoughts of this sort, or if you're having thoughts that you were right up there, but you made certain silly mistakes because of which your final results suffered, in that case, we would strongly advise you to go for the ICAT. We still have a pretty good, so it is on 29th of April, right? If I'm not wrong.
So,
I think April end, it's May 7th.
Sir, it is on 7th May. 7th May.
Right. So we still have got good how many? Almost 50 days, right? We have a good 50 days left. Now 50 days is a good enough period. So just see, please don't think because it's ICAT, 50 days is going to be less. Please remember that you just appeared for the examination, NEET-PG examination. You must be fresh with a lot of information, and also do not discount the fact that the competition is going to be comparatively lesser, right? So as we saw in the NEET-PG examination, it was an eye-opener for all of us. It was full of PYQs, or the topics from which PYQs were asked. And time and again, we have been saying this, not us, most of the teachers have been saying this, that PYQs remain the most important thing in the last 2 or 3 months of the preparation. So starting today, if you can start, working on the PYQs, the topics from which PYQs are asked, going a bit retro, seeing the questions, and then, reading the concepts regarding that particular text, that particular question, and, covering all the PYQs, you still have a pretty decent chance of, cracking the ICAT examination. Vivek sir, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. What we are left with for ICAT exam is 50 days, as you are saying. And yes, this NEET-PG has told us, has guided us that definitely you have to look at PYQs as sir has advised. Go for the PYQs, I should say around 5 to 6 last papers, not years, I'm saying last 5 to 6 papers. That will cover almost a good chunk of your total course. I'm sure all of you are already well prepared. So I have no doubt in that. You just need to bring yourself back on track, go through those PYQs, go through those topics also in detail. And I'm sure you have a pretty good chance of cracking the ICAT because you are already well versed with all the subjects. It's slightly difficult to read them all again, but you'll have to make up mind. I think Dr. Praveen sir will advise you on best how to do that or achieve that. But right now, going through PYQs in this limited window of 50 days is the best option along with the topics they cover. Right, Praveen sir?
Perfectly said, sir. So, all right. So as rightly mentioned by Vivek sir, ICAT examination, we have a good chance. Now coming to those students who did not perform so well, for those students who were quite far away, were at this point of time quite far away from the desired result. So you'll have to take a call whether you want to appear for the ICAT examination, make it the primary target, or do you want to prepare for the upcoming examination, which can be NEET or next. We do not know about it. So I can see many questions here that will it be NEET or next. So our guess is as good as your guesses, right? Even we do not know what is it going to be. But does it really make any difference? See, Govind sir, Vivek sir, all these senior teachers keep on saying the same thing. And even for the last years, I have been also in this field. I've been seeing the entrance examination. So we have had All India PG at one time. Then NEET was introduced. Then ICAT was introduced. Different examinations have been introduced over over the last decade. But the pattern of preparation has not changed much. The topics are going to remain the same. The concepts are going to remain the same. The kind of questions that they would ask cannot change much. I mean, from where are they going to get new kind of questions? Already questions are quite clinical nowadays. So I don't think there is a lot of difference that can be expected in the next examination. Of course, the relative weightage of the different subjects may change. That is one point for sure. But again, we'll get to know. We'll get to know in the coming months. And if we don't get to know about it in the next 3-4 months, then probably it would be safe to say that NEET-PG, the chances of NEET-PG becomes higher. Now, students are circulating that clip of Health Minister where he says that from the next year, we'll be starting with the next examination. Now, we do not know whether he was talking about 2023, 2024 Jan, or was he talking about December 2024? So we can, make all kind of guesses, but as I just said, that our guess is going to be as good as your guesses. So rather than wasting time on things that are beyond our control, it would be better that we sit down, chalk out a strategy and start working on it. One thing is pretty sure, one thing is pretty clear, that whether it is going to be NEET or next, it does not matter much. But the whole concept that we have to be very selective about what we are going to study, it becomes even more important of this year examination. We have, see, the litmus test is going to be whether you can complete 2 or 3 revisions before the examination or not. And this is something very important, guys. Now, many of you would be starting with the preparation or would be continuing with your preparation. And this whole period after the examination is the period where you are very enthusiastic and you think that I'll do something extremely good, extremely great. And then you fall into that trap of, trying to cover too much. And in the end, you are left with the same painful situation where you cannot revise anything. So this year or in this batch, we do not want that mistake to happen. We have to be very, very clear that whatever we are going to read, whatever we are going to study, it has to be exhaustive, but it has to be something which can be completed and revised at least 2 to 3 times. Vivek sir, your thoughts, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm sure most of the students who are in the Zoom call or on YouTube must be having a pen and paper with them. Friends, let me try to define a roadmap for you, how we can go about NEET/NEXT 2024. Let's not worry about the pattern of the exam yet. Let us consider all the 19 subjects are going to come in whatever proportion. So friends, first thing is make a schedule. Don't go randomly. I'm sure you must have done it last year. Now, what I will suggest that you should try to finish all your 19 subjects in case some subjects are left or not, maximum by 1st of August, let's say 31st of July. So July end, you should target that all your 19 subjects should be completed. In case any reason you are not able to do it, target between 1st to 31st of August that you should be able to finish all your 19 subjects videos in case something is left. Then as Dr. Praveen sir suggested, ideally you should go for 3 to 4 revisions. I'm not looking at 10 revisions. I'm not looking at 1 revision, 3 to 4 revisions depending on yourself, out of which I feel 1 should be through the rapid revision course. This should be kept in mind. While you are doing rapid revision, I will advise you to use the notes that you have been using till now. Even if you change something, the original notes, there is better if you can keep them with you. Second is, in the end, maybe towards the end of the exam, you can go for something like image-based discussion videos, or there are some revision sessions by faculty on YouTube from different platforms, whichever or whoever faculty suits you, go for him or her. All teachers are good. What I will suggest right now, start practicing around 50 to 70 MCQs a day. By August, September, make it 150, 160 MCQs a day. And by November, and I will like to see 200 to 250 MCQs a day practice. I know it may appear a bit higher on the higher side, but you have done the course. You will be in the revision phase at that time. So 200 to 250 MCQs will help you. Just a few minutes before, a student was asking, Dr. Sky was asking, Please tell us what common mistakes we are doing. Friends, you are not doing any mistakes deliberately. All of us have put in so much effort. All of you have studied so much. What is happening is some silly mistakes are occurring. See, when I was talking to students who have cleared the exam or not cleared, majority were of the view that paper was easy, but many questions were tricky because of the choices. But just go through the videos of students who we have interviewed and put on Cerebellum YouTube channel. I'll just quote three videos, three interviews I took today. Dr. Sunny Yadav, he is rank 305. I'll just tell you briefly what he told us. He told me that he was studying 6 days a week minimum. He was a group of around 5 or 6 friends. All of them used to study without any contact with each other for 6 days a week. On 7th day, whether Sunday or any other day, they used to go for grand tests in the morning. Afternoon, they will sit together and discuss. Evening, they'll go for a dinner. Dr. Abhigya, she was having a rank of 38,510 last time, but this time she has managed to crack rank 1218. So from 38,000 to 1200 rank. How she could do it? I was asking. Both Dr. Sunny and Abhigya mentioned one thing. Although this video is being streamed on social media, both students mentioned do not use social media. In fact, Dr. Abhigya advised us, or advised all of the juniors also, that give your phone to your parents. Use it only 5 minutes a day. Both Dr. Sunny and Abhigya told me they had no clue about the confusion students were facing regarding the postponement of exam. So they were saying we were in a different zone altogether. We were not worrying about any postponement because we were not utilizing or rather wasting time on social media. So social media use to the minimum according to what students have been telling us since last so many years. Mostly we have seen that students who clear the exam with good ranks, they are not on social media. Exceptions are there, but generally they don't use social media so much. Also, I had an interview with Dr. Shriram, who managed from 65,000 rank last year to 2494 this time. What he shared a very interesting thing for all of you. He mentioned that do not try to cover everything. Do not try to go very vast or into deep. What he was saying, try to cover minimum that is up to your own potential or capacity, and you should be able to revise it multiple times. One very interesting thing Dr. Shriram told me that he had done PYQs also 3 times. I was asking what was the need of that. So he was saying that I always believed that total paper cannot come new. 60, 70, 80% topics have to be known to us directly. So he was banking on that. And this time he was saying, of course, it is by luck that majority of questions were repeated questions from the previous topics or directly from the previous papers. So that should be kept in mind. Then another interesting thing, all the students we have interviewed, maybe this time or previous exam results also, what we have seen, grand test always is a query. Please, please, please definitely give grand test regularly. But at the same time, do not worry too much if you are getting very low marks. See, many platforms try to design a grand test in such a way that they have slightly higher level questions. Exam questions are slightly simple to that. Ideas so that you don't become complacent and leave your studies. So just to keep you on track, don't worry about that. Try to give grand test on a regular basis. Try to gradually increase your marks. Even if you are scoring, let's say 115 out of 200, let us say, gradually it should keep on increasing. But if the grand test is so easy that you are scoring 190 right now, maybe you'll get complacent or something. So this is the reason grand tests are kept at a slightly higher level to keep you on track. Advice may vary. I generally feel in the last 1 month, you should not give grand test. I don't want you to enter the examination hall with a low level of confidence. So grand test give regularly. Try to assess your marks. Try to see if you can maintain, and if possible, slightly keep on increasing. Your marks should keep on increasing in the upward direction. So this should definitely help you. As Dr. Praveen sir mentioned, frankly, questions don't change much. Every time they were asking what vaccine has to be given at 10 and 16 years. If earlier it was tetanus toxoid, this time it became TD vaccine. So not very much updated type of questions have been asked, or from the updated topics in last few years I've seen. National board still try to keep the question simple. Maybe the choices become so confusing and the course is so vast. So that should be kept in mind. So I'll just repeat it once again. Try to finish your course by July end, maximum by August end. Keep time for 3 to 4 revisions, out of which one should be done through rapid revision course. 50 MCQs a day right now, gradually increase it to 150 to become 200 to 250 by October, November end. Give grand tests regularly. Try to maintain a good stream of marks in those series of grand tests. Social media, use minimal. I'll not say totally go off the social media. It's not possible for many of us. Use it to the minimum, and lesser the distractions, more the concentration. See, every student who has cleared the exam with good marks, what we have got from them is they devoted a lot of time in hardcore studies. That should be kept in mind. So I think if you can see this particular roadmap, it will help. What do you say, Dr. Praveen, sir?
Right, sir. Sir, very nicely summarized, sir. Great points. Sir, would just want to address a couple of more questions that students appear to be asking repeatedly. So, for those of you who got rank under 10,000 or under 15,000, and you are worried whether you should wait for the counseling or go for the next examination, again, I would very strongly advise you this thing, that if you got a rank under 10,000 or under 15,000, that itself means that your preparation is to a certain extent almost to the level what is required for getting a good score, good rank. A couple of more weeks of effort might help you to get through. So again, ICAT is a very good option for such students. There is no point waiting for the counseling. I mean, there is nothing that you can do about it. And just waiting for the counseling is akin to leaving things to the luck, that if I get something great and if I do not get something, then what, right? So rather than passively just letting things happen and being an observer of what things are happening, I would advise that become an active participant in your career, the way your career is going to take shape. And you know that if you get into ICAT examination, if you clear the ICAT examination, and if you can get into one of the aims of the PG or enhanced for that matter, it will be a big boost to your career. So the only issue is to get started again. That is the biggest problem. Many of you are disappointed, many of you are sad, many of you are frustrated, some of you are angry. But see, while it is understandable, those emotions are understandable, given the fact that you studied for a long period of time and the results are not up to the mark. Whenever we are stuck somewhere in life, we always have to ask ourselves, what can I do at this point of time? What can I do at this moment? And when you ask yourself that question, the answer is usually very clear, right? You are sad, take a break for 2 or 3 days, sleep as much as you want for 2 or 3 days. In fact, go for a short trip, come back, and then ask yourself that, okay, exam did not go according to my plans. I was hoping for a much better result, but that did not happen. What can I do today? And when you ask yourself this question, the answer would be very clear, that you have got another exam coming up in 45 days, 48 days, 50 days. And it's an even bigger exam for even bigger institutes. And if you crack it, things would change substantially, right? For those of you who are asking repeatedly the strategy, I think the strategy remains very clear, very simple. It has to be a preparation which is focused on PYQs and the topics which are asked in the PYQs. The questions that are asked in ICAT are slightly different from what are asked in NEET-PG. So, whatever app that you have subscribed to, or whatever books that you have, all the questions are there. In a couple of days on the Cerebellum app, we will be also, discussing about the ICAT. In fact, we are planning to start certain sessions for ICAT. For those of you who are living in Delhi or nearby, Dr. Zainab is conducting a BTR specifically for ICAT. And, the demand was so much that we are now shifting to Srifort auditorium, a bigger auditorium. So the classes can be, you can do that class. So there are multiple options. See, we don't want to create FOMO here. We are not saying that you have to come to BTR or you have to do only Cerebellum. Whatever you have been doing, just continue with it, but focus more on ICAT. Yes, BTR would also be there online after, but it will be around 20th of April. We are planning to launch it online. So that would be there. But please remember, the bigger picture is that whatever you have been doing, continuing with it for 2 more months is going to help you more. PYQs, anyways, will be helping you with that. So some of you are asking this question repeatedly, that you are doing a job and whether you should quit the job and then start studying. Now, students, at least I have been very clear on this, and I tend not to be diplomatic when I answer this question. I strongly believe that if you're preparing for an entrance examination as difficult as PG entrance examination, it has to be your full-hearted effort. even if you have to go for only 3 hours to the hospital, even then it is not done. The only exception is if the financial condition is so bad that you have to do it, there is no other option. That is the only possible exception to this rule, that if you want to study, you have to study completely, wholeheartedly, with full dedication. And again, some students say that I don't want to ask for money from my parents anymore, and that's why I want to I want to do job. Again, I don't really understand that line of thinking. If we have been taking money from our parents for 25 years, we can as well take it for the 26th year also, right? So, I mean, after all, they are our parents. You're not taking money from somebody else. So, I don't think you should be doing any kind of job. And see, it's not only about 3 hours where you go to the hospital. You have to get up at a particular time. You go over there. You know, somebody would say something to you. Your PG or SR would say something to you. Half the days your mood would be off. You'll be tired. And then, you know, by the time you reach back home and by the time you open your books, half the day is gone. This is not how you clear an entrance examination as tough as PG entrance examination. So, sorry, no diplomatic answer. If you want to clear the entrance examination, it should be a wholehearted effort. You should quit your job if you can, right? All right. Sir, should we start taking some questions from the room?
Yes, sir. Sir, one student, many students rather have asked, I've got a rank which is not as what I wanted. It's not desirable, but should I join? Friends, frankly, take some time, decide on this, talk to residents in those departments, try to understand those departments, how they function, then make an informed decision. What I have learned from my own professional career also of last 20 years in this field of medicine is, whenever you take a decision, take time to think, as Praveen sir will also tell you. But once you make a decision, do not look back. Then give your 100% to whatever you are doing. See, nothing matters, frankly, I can tell you right now, you may not understand it right now. Nothing will matter 10 years down the line. All of you will be successful in whichever field you are. See, doctors are a breed of hard working. You are the topmost creamy layer of the country, I should say. So you are the best. You have to consider that. So whatever you do, you are going to succeed, provided you just maintain the tempo of hard work and being consistent throughout whatever you do. So whatever decision you take, don't look back. And suppose you decide to, like Praveen sir has been saying, that let me, prepare for INICT, definitely, which you should, or maybe for NEET-PG next year. Then don't look back. Start afresh, start from scratch. Consider that now I have to first list down what were my weaknesses. See, everyone knows which subjects are your strengths, or whether attempting questions or accuracy is your strength. Try to make your strengths stronger, but more important rather is to convert your weaknesses into strengths. How you can do? Just talk to students, watch few interviews. I'm not saying spend hours and hours on that. Watch few interviews of students who have given interviews on different channels, like Cerebellum YouTube channel also will find. That will give you some guidance. Of course, talk to us teachers. Will teachers try to share as much as we can based on our past experiences. So I think take a decision, don't look back. This is what I feel is safest. What do you say, Praveen sir?
Right, sir. Perfectly said, sir. I think we can, add one more nuance to this question. I believe that, say, if you're very clear about the branch that you want to take, say you always wanted to get into general medicine, and your rank is such that you will get medicine, but probably not at a great place. So in that case, I would rather advise you that you join, because you guys worry too much about the colleges. As Vivek sir very nicely pointed out, later on it does not really make much of a difference. Finally, in our field, in our profession, the most important thing remains perseverance. You can go to AIMS Delhi, but not make it big later in the life, and you can go to one of the smallest of the places, smallest of the colleges, but end up becoming a very successful doctor. So perseverance is what matters. So again, coming back to the point I was trying to make, if you are getting the branch, even if it is not in a great college, I would advise that go for it, take it, right? But if you think that you wanted to get into a particular field and you were really passionate about it, and on your rank you cannot get it, then I think you should go ahead and take another attempt. Similarly, yes. So another question is this private college, government college thing. No, this is a new phenomenon. I mean, this question has started coming up regularly in the last 2-3 years only. Again, see, I personally believe that in the academic institutions, people are more judgmental about whether a person went to a government college or a private college. In the big world outside the four walls of the boundaries of the medical colleges, people don't really care. Your patients don't really care. If you're good, right? Whether you went to a good government college or a private college, it does not really matter to them. After all, you'll have the same degree. It's more about, trying to prove a point to your peers or the seniors. And I mean, I would accept this that as doctors, we are often quite judgmental. But even if you go to a private college, it's not going to be a death sentence for you professionally. Of course, you'll have to take care of the financial aspects. From what I got to know, the fees in the private colleges is very steep, and whether you can afford that kind of money, that is a question. But if you can, I mean, you can as well think about it. But then, of course, the whole hype of studying very hard and cracking an entrance examination, that is of course always there. See, when you crack an entrance examination, it's not only an entrance examination. You always carry that confidence with you for the rest of your lives. I mean, I keep on talking about my story of 40 days. It happened way back in 2011, right? But I still carry that confidence, and that is true for all of us, right? So that is one thing why I believe that you should give a good effort before settling down for anything. All right. So yes, so Vivek sir very nicely pointed out the strategy for people who are planning to appear for the next year. Sir very nicely said that the next 4-5 months you should be building your concepts, watching the main videos, the regular videos, and then sir very nicely pointed out that when we revise, we can go for one of the rapid revision videos while keeping our notes together. What you can also do is while you watch the main videos, you keep on making notes. Nowadays, you'll be provided with the notes. Keep on adding things in those notes so that by the time you reach your second revision, you have one consolidated source that you can just keep on revising till the examination. But if you are preparing for the next year, the first 4-5 months has to be exhaustive study, more of concept based study, PYQs and MCQs. As sir mentioned, we can start doing in the beginning, and as we reach towards the examination, closer to the examination, we can increase their numbers. Sir, who should apply for ICAT? I think everybody should apply for ICAT, whosoever is eligible. But for those of you who got a comparatively better rank and who know that where they made a mistake, they should be giving it their all, focusing on ICAT. And for those who have started late, probably they can give ICAT more of as a practice examination and focus more on NEET or next that would be held. Sir, can we take the next question now?
Yes, sir. Sir, again, same thing. One of the student, or rather few of them, are asking, I feel it will be too difficult for me to carry on. Friends, I can say one thing: pain is temporary. It will hurt, but it will subside eventually. But if I quit, this is going to last forever. This you have to understand. See, we are medicos. We are used to face ups and downs in our career. If you are getting a high with a up, then you should learn to take down also in your stride. Don't worry about these things. Me, Dr. Praveen sir, and every medico has gone through these ups and downs in our careers also. We have taken also some decisions which were against the norms, but few of them may pay, few of them may not pay off, but still, you should give a try. ICAT, yes, definitely you should go for. Trust your ability, trust your hard work. You have been studying for so many months and years. So you must have got something. Maybe few tricks or something, few things were missed in NEET-PG. Doesn't matter. Give your 100% for ICAT. I'm sure many of you will be very satisfied with the performance you are going to deliver.
Very well said. See, quitting. See, I believe quitting is always an option. Let me bring a bit of psychiatry here. See, if you don't want to play that game, if you don't want to play the game of entrance examination, of competition, of trying to become an MD or MS, that I believe is perfectly fine. Dr. Vivek sir would agree 100% with me if I advise students that it's not necessary that you have to get into PG. That is perfectly okay. But then you should be prepared for it. You should be mentally strong enough to not compare yourself with other people who are doing MD, MS later on. See, the people who have lesser expectations from life and who are not so ambitious, they tend to live better lives. It is a given, right? But are you that kind of a person? If you are, great. You don't even have to listen to us. Leave this chat and block us. You don't have to look at our faces again. Live a happy, satisfied life. But if that is not the case, if you are ambitious and if you want to get a seat in the MDMS, then you'll have to play by the rules of that book. And that book asks you to make a lot of sacrifices, study very hard, bear the pain, still keep the chin up, and continues working hard. And as Vivek sir very rightly mentioned, there was no stage in the life of any doctor where everything went hunky-dory, right? Disappointments, failures, humiliations, all of that is a part of the life of a doctor. And if you are feeling low today, if you're feeling disappointed today, perhaps it is the beginning of another story. When you write your story next year, it will start with this only, that after the examination I was very low. After the examination I was very sad, very disappointed, did not know what to do, and then I did this. And from there the real story starts. So whatever you're feeling is just a prologue. It is just the part before the actual story starts. And guys and girls, while entrance examinations are difficult and you have to make a lot of sacrifice and face a lot of pain, at the same time the high that you get is also something, right? I mean, today your friends who got selected and who cannot stop talking about it on the social media, they are living that high. And today you might be feeling a bit bad looking at them, but that high is very much in your hands. It is right next there. It is right in your reach. A bit of more effort and see, you do anything in life, whether you start a clinic, whether you start a business, whether you do anything in life, there are a lot of uncertainties. But when it comes to preparation, if a student studies hard for 10 months, the chances that he or she will get selected are almost 100%, if not 100%. I mean, in all these years, I have rarely found a person who has studied well and did not get a good score. So for you, things are very certain. You have to do certain things and you're likely to get something else. And this something that you have to give is something that you have been doing all this while. I often write that whenever I write notes, that we are doctors. What else do we know? We don't know marketing. We don't know business. We don't know how to use Excel sheets. We don't know a lot of negotiations. We don't have good negotiation skills. But one thing we know is to study and study hard and sacrifice. And that is what you are supposed to do. So again, as Vivek rightly pointed out, you're feeling sad, understandable. Give yourself some time. But then if you want to play the game of entrance examination, you will have to play by the rules of that game.
Okay, very well said, sir. So Dr. Manisha has asked how to improve accuracy. Should I answer?
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, Dr. Manisha and everyone who is asking that I made a lot of silly mistakes. How to solve this dilemma now? How to solve this puzzle? Friends, let's bring it down to the basics. This is an entrance examination which is based on MCQs. See, you are doing your theory, you are going through videos, you are revising your notes, everything said and done. But ultimately, the exam is based on multiple choice questions. Start practicing them. See, earlier when these app-based platforms were not there, students used to study mostly from textbooks and review books. Then we used to advise students that keep a clock in front of you or use your watch and try to attempt 60 questions in 60 minutes or almost similar what you get in the examination. But right now you have got options on the platforms where you can attempt questions in a time-bound manner. The more questions you practice, see, many times students say, sir, my friend, when he attempted 10 guesses, 8 of his were right. When I attempted 10 guesses, only 2 were right. Friends, your friend didn't have 8 guesses right. He had studied more. He had practiced more questions. So when he made a guess, actually it was his knowledge which was converting to an accurate guess. So that you should realize that practice more questions. I'm not saying mugging up questions, because one of the students was saying that I was mugging up PYQs, but this strategy failed. We never asked you to mug up the PYQs. What we were saying, go through them. Try to relate to the topic that you have already studied in detail. It will consolidate your preparation, your concept, and also make you ready in case even a slightly different or a variation of that question comes in the exam. So I think practicing questions, because all of you who are seeing this session or attending this Zoom session, I'm sure all of you must have completed your course or near completion. I personally feel 100% completion is not required. Complete what you can revise. But at the same time, like I mentioned in the strategy, start practicing questions on a daily basis. See, if I were given a free hand to advise you, I will say slowly and slowly try to give 30-40% of the time to MCQs by the time you reach the examination time. Rely upon your notes. Do not try to change too much. See, this is not only about Cerebellum, as Dr. Praveen sir mentioned. Whichever platform you belong to, trust the teachers, trust the platform, and then give your 100%. So practice questions, I think, is the most or the key thing. What do you say, Dr. Praveen sir?
Perfectly said, sir. Perfectly said. Sir, many students are asking us in particularly about Cerebellum, that how are we planning to help the students? What is our plan? So students, a couple of things are being done. For the upcoming NICT examination, we will be starting with certain sessions very soon. Some of those sessions would be conducted on YouTube, others would be conducted on the app itself. And for those of you who are living in Delhi NCR, you can please come and join BTR session by Dr. Zainab. And for those of you who are not living in Delhi NCR, please don't worry. Online BTR would be available in the app. If you have the subscription of the main app, you will definitely get the online BTR too along with it. And for those students who are asking how are we planning to help them for the next year examination, NEET-PG or next whatever it is, again, the plan is very simple. We want you to start with the main videos in the beginning so that you do develop good amount of concepts. There is good conceptual learning, and we have been working very hard on this aspect that the content that we prepare is exhaustive in the sense that it covers everything that is needed to know, that you need to know. At the same time, we are not trying to balloon it up. We are trying to ensure that the content is, despite being exhaustive, it is something which remains relevant. It remains something which is revisable. So a lot of work has been done on it, and we are continuing to do work on that. And another problem that we saw many students facing was that with app-based learning, they were losing the discipline. So this whole idea of having live sessions, some T&D, test and discussions, the whole reason behind having this thing in the app was to keep you on your toes. You should not feel that you are left after after subscribing the app. We would remain in touch with you. We would remain talking to you. We would continue having such sessions so that your preparation remains under the guidance of a mentor. And of course, we will have MCQs and grand tests and everything. And then we'll have rapid revision videos. And also for the last moment revision, we'll have BTR. So the entire year, starting with the conceptual learning, to the revision videos, to the Q banks and GTs, to the last moment BTR, everything would be there. We would advise you to focus on different things in different point of time. If you are preparing for the next year examination, start with the main videos. And if you're preparing for the NICT, focus more on the last year examination and the BTR sessions. By base material, I mean the main videos, the detailed videos. And of course, the notes that would come along with them. So one student, Akriti, is asking, sir, do students who have got more than rank of 1 lakh, do they even stand the chance to get a good rank in upcoming examination? I'm feeling very unconfident, sir. Akriti, we understand what you're saying. And precisely for this reason, we have tried to talk to many students whose story is similar to yours. Dr. Vivek sir, Dr. Apoor sir, Dr. Zainab ma'am, Dr. Govind sir, all of them have taken multiple interviews of students who had bad ranks or who went to private colleges and then ended up getting very good score in the recently conducted NEET-PG examination. It does not matter where you stand today. What is going to matter is what are you going to do in the next 8, 9, 10 months, right? So whether you got rank 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh or 40,000 or 80,000, everybody has a chance. Chance is there for everybody. The question is, are you ready to study for 9, 10 months on a stretch? Are you ready to make sacrifices in the next 9, 10 months? Are you ready to outdo yourself, surprise yourself by studying so hard that even you ask yourself, I never knew I can study so much? If the answer to those questions is yes, our answer is very clear that you can get a rank under 1,000.
Sir, I'll add one more thing. Friends, Dr. Praveen sir has mentioned it very correctly. Please be very careful and just listen what I'm trying to convey to you. See, I have also been an average student throughout my life. But what I have understood, average student deliver best. See, if any one of you is a topper, I'm not worried about you. You will clear the exam even without us guiding you. So I'm frankly not worried about toppers. But average students, what they can do is, you have no excuse for that. Give your 100% consistently 9 to 10 hours a day. Sir is saying minimum for 9 months. That you give. hard work has the capacity to beat the talent on any given time. See, it's not that always a MD, MS, MCH, DM doctor will succeed. You must be seeing, as Dr. Praveen sir mentioned, many MBBS doctors are doing exceptionally well or even better than the more qualified medicos in the country. So it is all about your attitude that should be in the right place. And I think just focus on your hard work, focus on the process. Do not think too much about the outcome. We keep on worrying. So many students are asking, will it be NEET-PG next year? Will it be next? After a few months, it will become, will it be delayed? Will it not be delayed? Do not waste time on these things, friend. Whatever happens for anyone will be for everyone. So every student will get a delayed exam if it is there. Every student will have to face the change in pattern of exam if it is there. And I'm using the word if. So remember that thing. So don't change anything. Medical science won't change much. Your exam pattern, even if it changes, the concepts will remain same. The questions, they cannot change drastically so much that all students flunk in the exam. It's not possible. So keep that in mind. Being an average student is good. If you have scored 1 lakh rank right now, to me, you are the person having highest potential to put in a good degree of hard work to succeed in the upcoming exam.
A student is repeatedly asking, sir, I'm planning for November INI. Is Cerebellum going to be enough to crack INI in November? My dear student, platforms are never the limiting factor. The limiting factor is our preparation level, right? Of course, INI CT examination or any examination, Cerebellum is going to be more than enough to crack any examination. You are saying that you are targeting under 100. You can target under 10 also. But please remember that platforms are never a limiting factor. Even before Cerebellum, platforms were never a limiting factor, right? So is your preparation going to be good enough to get under 100? That is the big question. If you are confident about it, 100%. Our answer is yes. I want to address one more question. Many students are saying that it was their 5th attempt or 4th attempt or 6th attempt. And what should they do now? So students, please remember that we should also know when to move out of the race, right? As we have been repeatedly saying that MDMS, getting into MDMS is not everything, and getting into a particular branch is not everything. If you have been stuck in a particular situation for many years now, you might actually think about taking whatever you are getting. See, remaining stagnant is also not so great. While there are many success stories where students tell that finally after 7 years or 8 years they did it. At the same time, if you become stagnant, that also takes a lot of toll on your physical and mental health. So if you feel that you have given it all, if you feel that you have still not been able to get a great rank, my suggestion is that continue moving forward. Probably take whatever you're getting. After in the PG, you'll get many more options, right? Don't get stuck. But this is for people who have already appeared for 4 or 5 times. But if you are somebody who has appeared for one or two occasions only, then I'm sure you have a lot of fuel left in yourself to go for another exam. This whole NEET next thing is unnecessarily causing concern to many of you. Just because next is coming does not mean that something bad is about to happen. I mean, don't give it unnecessary importance. Whatever examination pattern is there, the preparation is not going to change much, and please don't waste time on these things. Even this year, many students wasted 2-3 weeks on this whole postponement thing. There is no point wasting time on things that are beyond your control. See, this is the rule of life for everybody, for all of us. Please focus on things that you have control over and that you can change.
Sir, a student is asking, will rapid revision videos be available after app launch? Yes, friends, it will definitely be available on Cerebellum Academy app, and rapid revision videos will be there.
And some of them are asking about separate subscription for rapid revision and all. See, we are not having any separate subscriptions as of now. The main app is going to come with everything, including rapid revision, live classes, BTR, and probably towards the end of April, we'll have a separate BTR course. But as of now, everything is under one app.
Okay, sir. Dr. Ashwin is asking, I prepared notes in 2021. Can I use it now? Yes, Dr. Ashwin, I can tell you from last 20 years of my teaching experience, 2012 onwards, questions have not changed much. Trust me. When National Board of Examinations took over, maybe few things got updated. Now controversial questions are less. So don't worry or run after controversial questions. Stick to basics, stick to concepts, practice questions regularly. See, one good thing I've seen among all the students when I take an interview, or Dr. Praveen sir took an interview, what we have seen, students say ki notes we keep on adding, like Dr. Praveen sir suggested in today's session, you paste a stick on, you make it as much exhaustive as possible. Any new thing you find, any new question has come, any new topic, someone has told you something, just keep on pasting. See, students were telling me that, sir, when I was attempting the question, I could remember that it is on the right top corner of that particular page, or a voice of yours or any other faculty was echoing in my ears. So that kind of dedication we need from you. Then we don't have to do anything, frankly. You'll automatically have a very good performance in the exam. I'm sure result will be exactly to your liking.
Well said, sir. Well said. Sir, a student is asking, sir, MBA करनी चाहिए क्या? बताइए सर, करनी चाहिए क्या?
Friends, देखो, in our country, frankly, as sir mentioned, everyone says MD/MS should be done, but you go to a common lay person who is outside of this medical system. We are a very small community.
MBA कह रहा है सर, ये MBA.
अच्छा, MBA. Okay, that we'll discuss later. Definitely do it, friend. If you get a chance, why not? Many more options will get open. No doubt at all. If you are saying MBA, most welcome.
हाँ, करनी तो कर लीजिए, but again, for the foreseeable future, आपका being a doctor is going to be a great thing in this country. I know, see, you guys are very worried now that the competition is increasing, saturation is happening. 12 years back, 10 years back, we had the same concerns. 20 years back, 15 years back, Vivek sir had the same concern. And 10 years from today, the concerns would remain the same. So this continues. ऐसा खत्म नहीं होता, this continues. चलिए सर, और कोई क्वेश्चन है क्या? Do we have something that is new that has not already been answered? सर, हमारे Zoom वाले बच्चों को मेरा मिस हो गया, उनको देखता हूँ मैं क्या बोल रहे हैं लोग.
सर, मैं Zoom वाले क्वेश्चन हैंडल कर रहा था अभी तक.
अच्छा, मैं YouTube देख रहा था सर. Alright, so sir, some students are saying that it is getting difficult for them to start. Now that is a valid problem. After an examination and after an unfavorable result, it becomes difficult to start all over again. So I think one good way of starting again is to start as a group. Individually, it becomes difficult to overcome the inertia. But if 2-3 students start together, it becomes easier. And making changes like starting to go to a library, or going to the hostel reading room. All these things help a lot. I remember when I prepared for my PG entrance examination, I live in Delhi only, and I did my MBBS from UCMS, which is also in Delhi. But still, I went to hostel for my preparation, just because there was this whole, mahol. Everybody is studying, and when you see others studying, you automatically start to study. So if you are finding it difficult to start all over again, ensure that either you are studying in a group, or better that you join some kind of library or go to your hostel, or some kind of reading room. That will definitely help you. A couple of more things you can do. Start with something that you enjoy watching. Say you are a big fan of Vivek sir's lecture, PSM lecture, and you love watching them. So rather than starting with any other subject, start with the easier things. When you start watching PSM lectures, when you start getting into the groove, it becomes easier to do the second subject. Or same applies to any other subject also. Do not start with things which are too difficult. Also, please remember, you cannot expect your body to suddenly get into 12-hour study mode. If you have not been studying for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and if you're trying to start, have realistic expectations from yourself. You will probably start with 3-4 hours. Then you'll go to 5-6 hours, and then you will increase. The problem with students is they open the book and then they expect themselves to start studying for 10 hours straight. And when they are not able to do it, they start getting frustrated. I'm not able to study well, and then they stop completely. It's not all or none phenomena. It's not that either I will study for 10 hours or I will not study at all. When you start with 2 hours, 3 hours, you gradually build it up. And after some time, you start clocking 8 or 9 hours.
Sir, absolutely. There is a very famous saying, run when you can. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. So speed won't matter. Ultimately, our destination is same. So friends, we may be in different paths of our flights, but remember, your destination is the entrance exam that you have to crack. Don't worry about others. Don't be in FOMO. Even if you start slow, as Dr. Praveen is saying, and you gradually work up your pace, I'll be more happy with that kind of preparation. Have you seen Usain Bolt while running 100-meter dash? He always starts slow. It is the last 30 to 40 meters he really surges ahead. That is the preparation we are looking from you, the kind of preparation that just be consistent and slowly increase the amount of intensity that you are putting into your efforts. Then it is going to be a very good result, I'm sure.
So for those students who are asking about cerebellum again and again, see, cerebellum has been created by the teachers with the whole idea of making the teaching more interactive. Even if it is an app-based teaching, we want to do a lot of live sessions, a lot of YouTube sessions, a lot of Zoom sessions, so that you feel connected. The problems that you feel isolated and lonely during preparation is there, and we are trying very hard to crack that problem also. And don't worry, I mean, already there are thousands of students who have joined the app, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good experience for all of us. So don't worry, all the questions that you're asking, that whether it would be relevant for NEET or ICAT, it is going to be relevant for everything. It's a given. So don't have doubts about it at all. Okay, sir, Dr. Jhansi is asking, sir, I'm doing job due to financial issues. Please say how to prepare in the meantime left in the day after doing the job. Dr. Jhansi, I'm sorry, but what kind of financial issues? I mean, to sustain yourself, you would hardly need 10,000 per month, if I'm not wrong. And for an entire 1 year duration, you would need like 1 lakh or so. So a job for 1 month or 2 months should be enough to pay you that. If you have to, make some money before you start studying properly, do job for 2 months and then start preparing properly. See, again, this is something that I say again and again. Entrance examination is tough, even when you study full time. How can you expect to do good when you are studying half the time? So if you are absolutely required to do a job, do it for the minimum possible time, and then start studying. See, once you join the job, it's difficult to get out of it. That is another problem, right? It's difficult to put in the papers and say that, okay, this is done, now I'll start studying. Whatever you start with, you kind of get stuck with it. So it would be better that you refrain from that temptation and rather focus on the studies. So all those students who are showing the hands, can you write questions in the chat? It would be easier for us to respond to the chat, or take the question from the chat. Akash, Sandeep, Dr. Hope, can you write in the chat, please?
Okay, sir. Dr. Kumar is asking, do I need to buy only Cerebellum? No, friends. You can buy anything. Whichever institute platform you are comfortable with, or some students are doing self-study, few of the students, it is up to you. It all depends on you. See, we cannot be too much different in content from each another. So this you have to understand. Whatever suits you best, go for it. Idea is you call us and tell us after 10 months, sir, I've cracked NEET-PG. That is enough for us. That is enough for us.
All right. Well said, sir. Psychiatry as a career. See, all these questions we will take later on when we start with the counseling and all. As of now, we are more focused on the preparation strategy.
Okay, Dr. China is saying how to stay motivated. Motivation comes from within most of the times, but if you can get motivation, then I've seen Dr. Appur Mehra sir is one of the biggest motivators. Nothing like that. Go through interviews of some of the students who have cleared the exam this time. That will be the biggest motivation. Then look back upon yourself. What you have been doing since school time. All of you have been toppers in school. You have been putting hard work since last 10 to 15 years now. So just look at that. That should be the enough motivation. Watch motivational videos on YouTube also. I don't want you to watch motivational videos for 2 hours a day. That will lead to a lot of wastage of time, right? So keep motivation within yourself. Keep in your mind, never say never. You can always achieve whatever you want.
Very well said, sir. The rule of thumb for motivational videos is watch a motivational video. After that, you will feel that extra energy in your body and then use that energy to start studying immediately. And when you study for 1 hour, that will give you more energy and more motivation. That is how you get into this positive reinforcement cycle. Don't hop from one motivational video to another motivational video. It does not solve any purpose. All right. So some students are asking, sir, please guide us. If I did lectures from previous platform, how is it going to be different from Cerebellum? We have answered that question in many of the videos already. The content of Cerebellum has been developed with 3-4 mottos in the mind. We want that you are able to finish the course in time and still have enough time left for the revisions. And we want to keep you on your toes by doing the TNDs and the live sessions. and ensure that the GTs and the Q bank is as close to the real examination. So this is what we are trying to achieve, and what we have achieved to a great extent by now. If you have made notes from some other platform already, or if you already have some notes, I don't think you should discard them. They would come out to be handy. You can keep those notes alongside, and then make additions. So that is the way of utilizing your previous efforts also, while getting benefited by the platform of Cerebellum.
Sir, Dr. Monty is asking repeatedly, I have not made notes of any subjects till now. Should I make my own handwritten notes? Friends, frankly, there is no substitute to handwritten notes. What you write, you understand, and there is a passive memory factor also working along with that. But if you are in a third year or a second year MBBS, or maybe in final year, maybe I can still ask you to make your own notes. But if you are an intern or post-intern, and in case you feel you won't be able to make notes, then printed notes is the best buy. Go for it. Don't think about it. Watching videos, keep on adding, as Dr. Praveen sir has suggested. Whatever extra info you get, just keep on adding to that notes. Right? I think that should answer your query, Dr. Monty.
So there are two more questions. One is from the profile in Butterfly, and second is from Himanshu. So let me take the question of Himanshu first. Himanshu is saying, sir, is offline coaching good? What are the benefits of it? I have to move from Kota to Delhi because I got a very bad one this time. Himanshu, definitely offline coaching has its own merits. And probably the biggest merit is that you get more discipline. I mean, once you reach that class, you have to sit over there for 8, 9, 10 hours. So definitely some students prefer it because it gives them more discipline. If you are a kind of person who studies better in a classroom environment, definitely you can consider joining any of the good coaching institutes, offline coaching institutes. And of course, it has got its demerits. Sometimes sitting straight for 10 hours becomes tough. It's difficult to grasp. All of us, in fact, every single teacher has taught in online platforms and offline platforms. Pros and cons are there for both, and you choose depending upon what you like better. So there is no one size fits all for this question. Everybody would have different preferences. Whatever floats your boat, whatever suits you better. Butterfly is saying, sir, Cerebellum app is costlier 50,000 to someone like me. My dear Butterfly, the Cerebellum app is not for 50,000 rupees. Sir, what is the price for 1 year? I think 20,000 rupees. Something of that sort. So,
sir, right now discounts are going on.
So it is not for 50,000 at all. You can go to the website and see it. I think for 20,000 or something like that. And GRJ sir and Vivek sir, who are the main teachers, who are the mentors in Cerebellum, from day one, they have said that the pricing in Cerebellum would always be very reasonable, and it would never cross a certain number. So the prices are still very, very decent and much lesser. Hames is saying something very interesting. So do you think life matters like marriage and exam should go simultaneously? Yes, Hames, I do have a strong opinion on this too. I don't think life matters like marriage and preparation for entrance examination can go together to a great extent. Of course, these are distractions. So if possible, avoid getting married when you're preparing. At the same time, there are many stories and there are many students that we have come across who were not only married, but females who had kids and they cracked the examination and got great scores. So those doctors are an inspiration not only for you students, but for teachers like us. We have seen ample number of such stories now that people who are married, who have kids, who have families to look after, but those who had that burning desire, burning motivation, and finally they did it. Nothing could stop them. But if possible, try avoiding it. Try delaying the marriage as in the period when you are studying. All right, sir, do we have any more questions?
I think we have answered most of the questions. Our students must be feeling tired.
Some questions are asking again and again about the question bank highlights in Cerebellum. So can you answer that, please?
Okay, friends, QBank, we are trying to make a good one where each faculty is trying to give his or her input based on the experience on the QBank. So idea is not to impress you by giving too hard level of questions. Questions will be of the lower, low, mid, and high level questions. Let's say if you really want to talk in that terms. So questions will be of all the levels. Idea is not to impress you and sell the product. Idea is to help you crack the exam with ease and with a high degree of confidence. See, what we are doing is we are trying to utilize our experience. Most of the teachers at Cerebellum, if you see carefully, They have been authors of the most popular review books in the country since last 14 to 15 years. In fact, Dr. Praveen Tripathi has just released a book a day before. He'll share it with all of you very soon, but this is maybe he's trying to keep it under wraps. Friends, just stick to what you have been doing. I'll only say that.
Right. So as sir very nicely pointed out that when it comes to QBank, unfortunately, the trend is to give such difficult questions that student gets bamboozled and impressed at the same time. But those questions don't help you in the real examination. If you ask me, the single aim as far as the QBank is concerned, it is to keep the questions as similar to the real exam questions, and that is the defining goal. That our questions should be as close to the real exam questions. Nothing to impress you, nothing out of the world, nothing at PG level, and nothing to create FOMO. Just something which is close to the exam and which is going to deliver. All right. I think, sir, we have covered most of the questions now, and
yes.
So, sir, I think that's about it.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah, you want to add something, sir, please?
Sir, I'll just want to add thank you to all the students who have been consistent with sitting throughout this session. I know it's not something good because we just keep on preaching you, but frankly, friends, do feel it is not preaching. We are trying to share our experience for your betterment. We are trying our best so that you can help grab the best possible result in the next exam. So many students are watching on YouTube also. Thank you, friends. See, friends, I don't try to find any word of psychiatry in this particular line when I say never, because limits like fears are illusions. Don't go for the fears, right? So limits like fears are most often illusions. So it is up to you. Don't quit. Keep on giving your 100%. Success will come running to you. 3 Idiots movie, there was a dialogue, right? Success आएगी झक मार के आपके पीछे, बस आप लगे रहो. Ups and downs चलते रहेंगे. Every one of us have faced those ups and downs. Don't get disheartened. I know it is easier to say, but you will have to do. Stick to your family, stick to your friends. Relatives को छोड़ दो. Friends and family are best for you. So they will help you prepare in a calm manner for the upcoming exam. Just stay on course. Don't think about the outcome. Focus on the process. Outcome will align according to what you want. So I'll say all the best from Team Cerebellum and from my personal side also. And just stay on course. Keep on studying. We are always there with you. Try to connect with us on any platform. We'll always be there with you.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. My last words would be something that I often repeat, that we have to take the preparation to the last day. And if we can do that, half the job is done. And also another thing that I've been saying for quite some time, and interestingly, students are sending it back to me now. The results are there. That sometimes you have to just believe in yourself, and sometimes beyond the logic, magic happens. And that's it. That's from me and Dr. Vivek Jain. Team Cerebellum would be there with you in your entire journey. And you don't have to be a student for Cerebellum for that. If you are a student, irrespective of the platform, you are a student for us. All the best. Do well. May God bless you all.
All the best. Thank you, friends. Bye-bye. Take care.